Catching up with the latest news on LTID Radio.
Good morning, welcome back. Well, what?
You didn't expect that, did you? Did you? No.
No. Please send all your thanks on to me. I did the show. I literally came off the show, and within 5 minutes of me saying top grower pair, sack him, it needs to be done, it's done. Now, people may say that Top doesn't watch this show or what, but he does. Well done. Finally, Top has made the decision. The right decision? Well, time will tell. Let's be honest with you. Who knows? But this is Leicester Till I Die TV live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. And if you're listening on your favourite podcast platform, I've not even had a chance to upload the last one yet. Thank you so very, very much for lending me your ears. Leicester Till I Die on all your podcast platforms and your smart speaker as well. That will just, all you do is say, please play the podcast, Leicester Till I Die. I have to say...
I don't believe it.
But...
I'm loving it.
How many of these can I actually play? Because it will be time for this.
And now for something completely different.
Yes, it'd be different to Brendan. Let's just catch up with the comment. I could be doing these all thing. Finally, Mike, welcome back. I know, God's sake, I didn't even have time for a shit. That's how little time there was between my show saying he should go and this show saying he's gone. Excuse me if I'm having a drink there. JJ, yes, I know. Where are we going? Let's get your clappers out for the lads. He has gone. I don't think I was this happy when Pro went, to be honest with you. James, welcome along. Had to happen 100%. But the decision should... Yes, I agree. The worry is now, who do we go for? Gray, yes, it happened. Thank God. About time. Is that you, Terry? Is that you, Terry? I think it could be. I love this. Well done. You're welcome. You're welcome. Donations can be made via the website. Do you guys think they've got someone lined up? Well, you see, now that is a very good question, because you could say that it's taken them this long because they were negotiating with somebody. That is going to be the $1 million question, isn't it? Trust in Top, have faith. Thomas Frank, favour for the job with bookies. Oh, come on, that's the bookies. He ain't going to come to Leicester. Would you, if you were at Brentford? Mind you, I suppose that talks, doesn't it? Jade, hello, afternoon. All the owners on board had your stream on in the background. Yes, I think they did, and quite right as well. Why wouldn't they? Let's get behind the team now. We've got our Wish Terry. Rennie, welcome back. We might get former Bayern manager. I don't think so. But love your optimism. I do stand by opinion. I believe you could still go down. We could look. I'm not saying we won't go down. I won't say that this is what's going to keep us up. What I will say is this gives us a fighting chance to stay up. Now we can beat Villa. Well, let's have a look if we get the old new manager trampoline effect. No, I know. I think he was dreaming there, Mike. Thank God you, Top. Let's now come together and have some pride back. Oh, it's not you. I'm getting confused. That's you, though, Terry. I knew there was going to be a Terry somewhere. It's Jason. I'm absolutely buzzing, Chris. I think we're all buzzing. It's Steto's about to go and get something to eat and have a shit. Like I say, Luke's in. Best news all season for you guys. I still think it's too late with the timing. Should have happened after you lost to us. For me, look, we can say it should have happened. It should have happened. It should have happened. We know it should have happened. If we're honest, it should have happened at the start of the season, but it hasn't. I have invited Brad on, but I think Brad is absolutely still asleep. Let me just see if he is. I'll just send him a message. I'll just see if I can get Craig on. There we go. Let's try all those different things. Right, I tell you what. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at exactly what Brendan has been saying here. And then we can read it. So this is the statement off the website. Leicester City Football Club has reached a mutual agreement with Brendan Rodgers that will see him leave the club after 4 years as our men's first team manager. Brendan departs King Power Stadium as one of the most successful managers in the club history, having guided us to our long-awaited first FA Cup triumph in 2021, the FA Community Shield in the same year, two of the club's three highest Premier League finishes and consecutive European campaign, including our first European semi-final in 2022. Assistant manager Chris Davis and first-team fitness coach Glenn Driscoll will also be leaving with the club's thanks and best wishes for the future careers. I've just connected with Chris Davis. Immediate responsibility for men's first team training and match preparation will be led by the club's longest-serving first team coaches Adam Sadler and Mike Stowell. I don't think there is any surprise there at all. I think they were always going to be the ones that would do it. They've done it in the past, and of course they're doing it now. They are the obvious choices. I hope they use some of the experience, Vardy. You know, like I said earlier, Johnny Evans as well. Leicester City's chairman, it's easy for me to say, said, the achievements of the team under Brendan's management speak for themselves. We've experienced some of our finest footballing moments under his guidance. We'll always be grateful to him and his staff for the heights they helped us to reach on the pitch. Off the pitch, Brendan embraced the culture of the club and helped cultivate an understanding development environment, particularly during the transition to Seagrave. And provided strong leadership during the unprecedented challenge of the coronavirus pandemic. His place in Leicester City history is assured. However, performances and results during the current season have been below our shared expectations. It has been our belief that continuity and stability would be the key in correcting our course, particularly given our previous achievements under Brendan's management. Regrettably, the desired improvement has not been forthcoming, and with 10 games of the season remaining, the board is compelled to take alternative action to protect our Premier League status. Maybe it's going to be a bit too late though, Top. The task ahead of us and our final 10 games is clear. We now need to come together, fans, players and staff, and show the poise, quality and fight to secure our position as Premier League club. Whoa. Let's face it, none of us should be surprised, should we? None of us should be surprised at all. Let me just go through some comments and catch up. Anybody wants to come on, just say so in the chat and I'll try and get you on. We're better than Brentford in the long run. We were. I've looked at the managers available and the odds: Pochettino, Benitez, Hasenhüttl, Bielsa. Pochettino won't come, I don't think. Okay, Chris in charge. I would last less time than Brian Clough did at Leeds, I'll tell you. Oh, Chris, you are a gentleman, sir. Thank you so very, very much. Really do appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Jason's absolutely buzzing. Just read Rodgers has been sacked. And yes, it's totally truth. Totally and utterly true. That is why I am doing this. He has gone. We might be 12th place in the Premier League. Look, if we finish 17th, I'm going to be happy. Let's have Poch. Honestly, would be an insane appointment. Hussenthal would be an insane appointment. This is a long-term plan. Jay, yes, we have sacked him. He has gone. Goodbye. Bye-bye. 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 Brad should be happy. I'm trying to get him on. But he's not... he is not talking to me. I'll just check my messages and see if anybody is coming on. Nope, nobody. I mean, it's Sunday morning, so I guess they are out. And they've waited until there's a live match on, which is interesting as well. There we go now. Yeah, like I say, if anybody does want to come on and let me know their thoughts, please say, and I will send you a link. Rodgers has gone. We want Luis Enrique. Look, guys. Let's take the fact that we've sacked Rodgers and look at where we are now. Seriously, are any of these big name managers going to come to a club that still potentially has a very good chance of going down? You know, would Pochettino come? I don't think so. Would Benitez come? Yes, of course he would. Do I want Benitez? Well, not particularly, because he won't come just till the end of the season, and that's what I wouldn't want him long term. Enrique is waiting for Spurs, and if he's a fool, true, great news. Just a shame it took this long. I think I've just answered that, Matty. No, I'm sorry. I never stopped supporting Leicester. I know it's tongue in cheek, Rennie, but I've never stopped supporting Leicester. Can I now finally get rid of my Brendan Rodgers bar? Can I finally get rid of that? Oh, what a shame. Look, here we go. Let's put it in the bin. Anyway, I just want to quickly show you there is some live footage coming over of Brendan leaving the King Power. Let me just see if I can link this in for you. So this is Brendan Rodgers leaving the King Power earlier today. If I can just press 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. Brendan Rodgers leaving the King Power. Oh yes. That'll get played before the end of the show again. You can bet. Right, where were we? Quite a way back here. I'm really behind with the chat. I am so sorry, guys. We don't want any more former Liverpool managers. I tell you what, I'd take Klopp. I ain't going to come, obviously, but you know what I mean. I agree with Jay. What did Jay say? But no, Enrique, will he come? R.I.P. Brendan. Why did you stop Rennie? Jeez. I know. I think it was tongue in cheek. Let me just have a look. Leicester City latest manager odds. Let's see who's doing what. You know, the club could have at least messaged us all and said, "Guys, we're going to do this." So, you know, don't eat something quickly. Oh, right. Yeah, Thomas Frank 5-1. I tell you what, let's bring this up. Let us bring this up. I think Brad's still in bed, probably. Let me bring this up. I've just got to find it. Brought it up on one screen, but not the other one. Okay, let me reword it. Leicester City latest manager odds. There we go. So these are the odds, ladies and gentlefolk. And then we'll come back to your comments after this. Thomas Frank 5-1. Benitez 9-1. Bielsa and Pochettino and Huthenhal all 10-1. Ruud van Nistelrooy 14-1. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 16-1. Daniel Farke 16-1 as well. Tell you what, let us go, because there's even more than that. There's even more, I tell you, even more. So there we go. Daniel Farke 16-1, Scott Parker 16-1, Neil Lennon 16-1, Dean Smith 20-1, Steve Cooper 20-1, John Dole Thomason 20-1, isn't he at Blackburn? Roy Hodgson, seriously 25-1, Nathan Jones 25, Lucien Favre 25, Graham Potter 28, John Terry 33, Ranieri coming back is 33. Tuchel and Almiron 33s, Claude 12 40, Wayne Rooney 40, Martin O'Neill 40. Now we're getting silly. Don't I don't know if that is today's odds or not. We will see, but let's have a look at Betfair, see what they're saying. Oh, that was Betfair that I was on. Paddy Power. Of course, we do not recommend anybody betting. So they have got, this was before he was sacked though, everybody. Thomas Frank is 5-1. Benitez 9-1. Pochettino 10-1, Bielsa 10-1, Farke 16-1, Ollie 16-1, the Denmark national team Kasper Hulmand 16-1. Wow, sorry, 25-1. Sorry, there's some wild cards in there, is there not? Right, let's go back to your comments. Chris might take Rafa to the end of the season with a survival bonus, but is it? I agree totally. That, this is why it's so late to be making this decision. Do we take somebody on just for the rest of the season, Big Sam, or do we stick with Stowell, or do we think, well, this is who we want, let's just go and get him and pay what we need? Thing is, 10 games, is that enough to implement a style to keep you up? We haven't got a style at all at the moment, Mike. The style we need is pass the ball forward, pass it to a player that's wearing the same colour shirt as you, and try and put the ball between those white things that are called posts and bar. Thunder Road also just took... Did he? Oh, well, I didn't know that. Matty Roundtree, I'll put my ring in the hat. Fleetwood to the Champions League on Football Manager. Hey, Rodgers would not even have managed that. Joey Barton. Can you think Joey Barton? Now, there's a start. Does anybody know how the West Ham game's going? Let's have a look. Because that's a little bit of a... That will affect what's happening to us, won't it? Hoping for a draw. West Ham are 1-0 up. Shite. That puts us in 19th place now. Oof. To the gentleman that keeps messaging me on Facebook, please stop. Jay Evans, we need to focus on the players that want to stay in the summer, bring in attack-minded Enrique and build for next season. I wouldn't be against him, don't get me wrong, I would not be against him coming, I just don't know if he would. We all thought he would. Nice, I don't know what you're saying there. I'm on the whiskey already, yes. I've got a nice bottle of bubbly that I've been saving for a special occasion. Thanks, Top. Mate, of course he watched the Scream. Mike, thanks very much, mate. But I'm really looking for sort of Leicester fans to come on, if that's okay. But I appreciate your offer. I do. Now he's gone, I'm very excited. Well, now the big question is, who's coming in? Well, that's what we've been saying. James, please do hit the likes and subscribe because it's going to be a busy few days. Villa coming up, obviously. We're not going to get anybody in before Villa, but are we going to get somebody in before next week? And I can't remember, my mind has gone. After Villa, we play Bournemouth. We're taking Bournemouth at home. Talking of us, me just saying we're playing Bournemouth at home, as if by magic, up the cherries and all departments is in. Craig, how the devil are you? Interesting timing, mate. It is a bit late, but as they say, better late than never. Just in time for Villa and Bournemouth. Well, it's what we're all asking. Who will we get? Iggle Piggle, yeah, we want Iggle Piggle. Go on, give us an eye. He did. He watched my show earlier and he thought, you know what? That Chris talks a lot of sense. Sean Dyche got sacked with 8 games. Leicester got relegated. You've got 2 more games with the fixtures. You should be fine now. I don't know. Simon, thank you so much. I didn't get your message. Do you know what? Simon is a mate. I used to work with him in the old Smith days in Gallatry Gate in Leicester. Those were the days, and we used to go down Filbert Street and stand in the pen with Colin. Do you remember Colin? Our bodyguard. He was like a brick shithouse. And he's a priest now. This is what friends of mine. This is what I turn them to, the priesthood. I only asked you yesterday, would you please have a word with him upstairs? And you did. Thank you, Simon. We do need a Dyche manager. Vieira, why? Why Vieira? I think if you're looking at any of the managers that have been sacked by teams at the bottom, the question is, why are those teams at the bottom? It's because of what they were doing. That said, and I did say the other day, I'm going to be honest with you, anybody coming in would bring a breath of fresh air to the club. So, yeah, who knows? We couldn't have done this at the start. Why so late? There's obviously reasons. If you want my honest opinion, I'll tell you what, I'll make a note of these. Craig and Mike. I'm trying to get some Leicester fans on first. You want Rafa? I don't know. They're welcome to him, mate. They are welcome to him. Rafa Benitez, I think, could be a possible replacement. We want a long-term deal. Exactly. Probably Big Sam. I'd take him. I mean, I would have liked Dyche at the end of the day, despite Ant telling me that he said it first, and he did, in fairness, and I laughed at him. I don't know. You said I'll never stop, Facebook user. I don't know what you mean. Lena, the lads, this isn't a joke, a late April Fool's joke. No, it's true. It is true. He will have a good 2 years, then he'll be terrible if he goes to Spurs, which he probably won't. I did say, you know what? I said this earlier, I believe, on the show, that managers do have a lifespan. When we signed Ranieri, a prominent Italian journalist, psychotherapist, whatever, said Ranieri will have a good season, then it will all start to go wrong. It always does wherever he goes. They do have a. I think Big Sam is retired by now. So was Roy Hodgson. Everybody looks to be happy. Is anybody annoyed? Is anybody annoyed that he's gone? According to the TV stations, they've not got anyone lined up yet. Yeah, but they didn't know we'd got Brendan lined up until he turned up at the stadium. Well, it is an argument, but like I said earlier, we can't sack 27 players. And that's what the squad is. Big Sam, could he do any worse, JJ? I mean, you're saying joke, but could he do any worse? He's got the history of staying up, and we've got to say, like I said, all these big names that are being linked seriously come to Leicester, a team that could potentially get relegated. As youth would say, no cap, i.e., you're not lying. Really? Are you a youth? I wouldn't know. Secondly, you're just trying to keep down with the kids, aren't you? If you're not one, no cap. Never heard that before. You are saying I'm confused, JJ. I'm confused. It just went on too long. Jesse Marsh, Ted Lasso coming in. He kept Leeds up last season. It was down to top. FM 303, Pearson shaky and ready to come back in. They've worked with the rest of the staff before. It's the easiest transition for now. Shaky is he was at West Brom, I think, wasn't he? I don't know where he is now. I think Craig Shakespeare is actually working. Just see, this gentleman keeps messaging me. I'm going to have to block him. Right, let us go back to the messages. Where do we get up to? Nigel Pearson, would I take him back? Yes, bloody would do. Of course I would, without a shadow of a doubt. Spuds can have Rodgers now. Of course, Harry Maguire was being linked with us this morning in the Sun. But it was being a Rodgers idea. But yeah, Spurs can have him. I just realised we sat well after losing to Palace, and now Rodgers has gone after losing to Palace again. So every time, basically, we're in the shit and we want to get rid of a manager, make sure our next game's up against Palace. I was going to say Frank Lampard now that he's available, but I know Brad wouldn't be too happy with that. Look, all joking aside, would I take Frank Lampard? Yes, I would. Because he's had a bit more experience than Stowell. I know they've been around the club ages, but just anybody to come in, he's going to give that breath of fresh air. And again, he did keep Everton up last season. Daniel Farke, he's in there. Let's just have a look and see if anyone. I don't think those odds that I was giving out were actually live. Says here no replacement lined up, as you said before. Talks took place this morning. So this is Rob Dorset at Sky, who knows his stuff, in fairness. I think they have agonised enough. I'll tell you what, again, should we bring this up? Shall we bring this up? Let us do that. Why the devil not? In fairness, doesn't that look good? Does that not look good? Let me just see what happened. I might be able to even actually show you this. Oh, there's an idea. No, I thought it was a video, but it wasn't. So, this is Rob Dorset from Sky. Can you just see? Let me just check that that's coming up. Yes, you can. It is there. I think they've agonised an awful lot over this decision. This is not an easy decision for Leicester to have made. I think, in truth, a number of Premier League clubs would have pulled the trigger earlier, such has been Leicester's poor form. He is very highly thought of, Brendan Rodgers, in the Leicester hierarchy, and he's very popular in the fan base. Rob Dorset. Where the hell did you? He's been he's not been popular in the fan base for about a season and a half now. Is this an old report that you've written that you've just dug out and changed a few words in? There's a feeling that Brendan Rodgers are building something for the long term with Leicester, with all their ambitions to complete with the biggest club in the Premier League in years to come. However, it feels to me that this is very much a decision that Leicester bosses have taken for the short term rather than the long term. They felt as though the slide in terms of performances couldn't continue. They've taken this decision with a heavy heart, and my understanding is that they gave Rodgers every chance to turn things around, and that he's earned that, and that he had earned that chance to turn things around. My understanding is that Leicester do not have a ready-made replacement lined up, and there is no specific time frame that they're working to in terms of finding someone to take over from him. This was Rodgers last night.
Brendan, that must feel like one heck of a kick in the teeth so late in the game.
Yeah, football can be cruel. Wasn't a lot in the game, to be honest. We started the second half really well, scored a fantastic goal, and up until that point made a really good start. Debatable free kick, but he finishes it well, and then after that we sort of stopped playing really. And then there wasn't too much created. But the final minutes of the game, it's just really that concentration. You've got to be really strong and resolute. And unfortunately, we gave them too much space, so to concede so late on, we certainly never deserved that. And I feel for the players.
Did you feel it was going your way? Because it was a resolute defending performance in the first half, and second half, Zaha obviously wasn't going to come on for the second half, and then you've made changes, and that's paid off. Pereira scores almost immediately.
Yeah. But first half, I didn't think we played well. We didn't keep the ball anywhere near how I would want my team to do that. But we defended well. The back four, goalkeeper were excellent, got blocks in, defended really well. But I said to the players, we have to, increase our mentality with the ball, because you have to have courage and bravery to do that. Ricky comes on, he does brilliant in the role for us. We then started to get control of the game, found the spaces, passed quickly, and then we end up scoring a very, very good goal. But like I say, we conceded the free kick, and then after that we were a bit huff and puff really. We never really got a rhythm again. So it looked like it was going to end up being a 1-1 draw, which okay, we want to win, but if not, you take the point. But it just feels really harsh to have lost the game.
Is it frustrating when things run away from you like that in the second half after you've got your noses in front?
Yeah, it always is. We're in a good position in the game, have control. It's obviously a situation as well where we're not at the peak of our confidence, but the players have showed our resilience today, and today it's the result at the end. There's pain there, that's for sure. But we have to use that now going into our next game on Tuesday.
I mentioned for your goalkeeper who brought out some terrific stops for you this afternoon. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, no, he's been excellent, Daniel. In a couple of games he's come in, been very assured, and like you say, when he's had to make the saves, he's done that.
What total and utter bullshit has that man been spreading for so long? I mean, not a lot in the game. What the fuck? It was 31 shots to 3, and he says there's not a lot in the game. Oh my God. And everybody says, was he that bad? Yes, he was. Let me just I'm going to send a few more links out. Just bear with me, gentlemen. Have a look at a few more comments. Big up Chris, should be having a beer and doing a toast on this stream and say good luck, Brendan. Thorke, ex-Norwich Gaffy is, yeah. I'm not sure about that one. We might be 16 people if we win in Premier League. Vichai, that's my son. Oh my God, no, not 4K. Yeah, get in, says Randy. Luke, never seen you so happy, Chris. It's been a while. I'm not going to lie, it's been a while. I'm starving, but I'm happy. Frank Hairs for me, for new Lens manager. A couple of people have been saying that. A couple of people. It's made my year. Steve Cooper, I'd take him. I'm sorry, Luke. Obviously, you don't want to lose him, but I would take him. I wanted Tuchel, but he's all yeah. I mean, like I said, this is a thing when you look at Tuchel and you think like, would he come? No. I mean, you know, the like Pochettino, there's clubs that they will go to. You know, Ancelotti would never come to Leicester. I mean, he went to Everton, but he didn't stay there long, which probably says it all, really. Let me just have a look here and just see. I'm just trying to find somebody. Thing is, I think everybody, all the big names I'm trying to get on, will have been taken onto the big stations, I'm guessing. This is the problem when you have a situation where it's live, you don't know what's going on. That's made my day. Up the cherries. Please don't take Carlos Cuebaran just in case we decide to change in the summer. A few people saying 4K. Isn't Coleman the guy from West Brom? Or Cuebaran, and I can't even say it, and you can't spell it. Hopefully the players got Rodgers sacked. I don't know. Now, there's an interesting one. Bring back Nigel Pearson. Would you bring back Nigel Pearson? If we brought back Nigel Pearson, I really would want Craig Shakespeare with him. Does anybody know what Craig Shakespeare is doing at the moment? 10 games left, still all to play for. It certainly is. It's still in our own hands. But yeah, you're right. We should have done this months ago. Mick, how you doing? No to Big Sam. Look, if he keeps us up, mate. If he keeps us up. I don't want who is as bad as Rodgers. Only took the board till April. I mean, I suppose Rob does have a point. I mean, any manager does earn a right maybe to try and turn it around. But I think Prell was probably given that. I think Prell could well have been given that time. I'm not sure that Ranieri was. But I think that was the embarrassment of possibly getting relegated as Premier League champions. I don't know if that had ever happened before. That would have been embarrassing. Never mind a style you need to... Yeah, that's it, mate. Just teach them how to pass from a blue shirt to a blue shirt. Mark Robbins, that's a fair shout. I've not heard that one before. It's a good shout. It's still second half's kicking off. It's still West Ham 1, Southampton 0. Luke, can't see Thomas Frank leaving Brentford. I can't, to be honest with you. I can't. Frank has just been seen at Foss Park. Here we go. I know somebody who knew the cleaner's mother, twice deceased, 3 times passed away. Yeah, here we go. Southampton keeps going down and then getting a comeback. Please, Southampton draw. Now we will really see what these players are made of. We will indeed. And we are 18th now. Actually, not. Oh, you're 18th, are you? I think we will go on anyway because of this FFP news and a points deduction. I don't think you'll get a points deduction, mate. And again, I said this on the show earlier. I don't think the FA have got the balls take points off you. But then again, I did question Top's particular department in that. Dave Bassett, thanks for the prayers, Simon. Indeed, Statman Stubbs, afternoon, mate. Yes, we're absolutely fucking. Can you not tell? Can you not tell? I'm happy. Look. If you wonder how I am feeling, I was going to say this to Brad. I don't think Brad's going to be coming in. Here we go. Do we play it again? Yes, there. That's how happy I am. Prayer works, Chris. Yes, all of us that doubt that there's somebody up there, that just proves it to you. Up the cherries, Craig says, yeah, I'm all good, mate, especially after yesterday's first. I know. This is it. You guys put in a fighting performance. We didn't. Daniel's in. Hi, Daniel. Thing is with sacking a manager like this late, all the manager you would have wanted. Yeah. Well, this is it. I think the only one possibly out of work that I would have said I really would have particularly wanted was Sean Dyche. That said, at the moment I take anybody. I really would. There was a time, Anthony. There was a time. Maybe we could prize a certain gentleman away from the Emirates. I doubt it. Big Sam could come back depending on how much money. Yeah, I mean, look, who's the guy that's gone back? Neil Warnock's gone back after he retired. Roy Hodgson we've just seen. So if he is retired, if the money talks, any chance you'd take Nuno? I don't know. I mean, you look at Nuno and you think, what he did at Wolves, he got them up and he got them into Europe. Was he the manager for Southampton? No, he's not. For Tottenham. Sorry. Was he the manager for Tottenham? No. He was ninth choice and he wasn't going to turn them down, and I don't blame him for that. And he probably got a nice big payoff when he left. I-16. Blah. That's how far behind the chat. I wouldn't go with it. Big Sam and Wait are dinosaurs. In a minute, Pardew will be turning up. As long as it's not Scott Parker. Tyler Kai, hello, how are you? I'm happy he's got sacked. And yeah, I think we all are. If you're new to the chat, by the way, anybody, please do subscribe. And if you are new or you're not, please smash the likes, because that actually gets the video seen on a lot of other channels. Was most recently assistant manager at Norwich. Oh, Craig Shakespeare. Hi again. Colin O'Connor, I'm not at home, so we're relying on the sort. I'm getting confused here now. So he could technically come back. I think if those two came back, I would love it. I'd love it, as Kevin Keegan would say. Love it. We can stay up, have faith, Foxes. Pearson at Bristol City, hands off. Big Sam for me. Shakespeare's out of work after being assistant at Norwich. I think he would take that to get Pearson back across, as he's obviously enjoying Bristol. Yes, but and I'm sorry, Anthony, and I hate to talk about managers at other clubs, because I hate it when people did that about managers at my club. So I don't want to sort of, say he would just leave Bristol to come to Leicester, but he obviously has got that linked with Leicester. He came, then he came back again. But I would, if he did come, I would want. I really would want Shakespeare with him. Leicester for life is off. Goodbye. Thank you for popping on. Rodgers was draining our club. Indeed he was. Yous won't be getting. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. If I knew who he was, I'd probably say we probably won't. He said in the post-FA Cup era, Do you reckon Brendan has made a request to take Kolo Toure as his successor? Joking, of course. I'm surprised that we didn't have him back. I've got to be honest with you. Things have changed. Yeah, where is Mr. Doug now? What do you mean? Rob Dorset must be in Dorset. He is that far away from the truth. Oh, now, Gray. Now, Gray. Don't be like that. We're not all country pumpkins down here, you know. Some of us aren't local. Local people for local shops. He's in. We'll bring him in a second and get his thoughts. Call Doug Chris. 31 shots, 3, not a lot in the game. I know! The fact that he came out and said there was not a lot in the game. Fucking hilarious. I couldn't believe the stats yesterday. I thought it was a wind-up. New Premier League record. Absolutely booed. There was barely anything. Bad is an understatement. Simon, bottom of the Premier League table on form since World Cup, according to Sky just now. Indeed. Have that seal bar, Chris. I know I can finally throw the packet away. In Palace's last 4 games, they just had 3 shots till they played us. That first half was absolutely embarrassing. Would you take Dean Smith, the former Villa boss? Yes, I would. Definitely. Brendan was almost 10. He wasn't anti. You see, everybody's saying, you read something. Brendan Rodgers was not on £10 million a year. Okay? I have that on authority of a journalist who I trust when it comes to Leicester more than Fabrizio. He was not on £10 million a year. Yes, Pearson was Sharky, 100% Pearson. What's Peter Taylor been up to? David Pleat available. Don't want Peter Taylor back. Chris, I'm delighted. Craig Shakespeare is number. No, apparently he's left there now. Sven's looking for a job. It will be at least I sound like who their point. Finally, says Brad. Yep, I can see you, Brad. I will bring you in a second. I just need to catch up with these chats. The fans and the atmosphere will be great on Tuesday night. I think it will. Get the clappers back. What a shame. Terry thought, yeah. We know you've got that tongue firmly planted. It should have been 5 months ago. Yes, he should. Bet you grin from ear to ear, Brad. Hi, Brad. Get Mancini in. It feels better than Christmas morning. Howdy or what a glorious Sunday. Hallelujah. Feels better than Christmas morning. Brilliant Sunday, Brad. Hi to you, James. What about Bruno Lager, the former Wolves manager? Gary Rowett. We're going through all the names. Maybe Mike Stow can turn it around. Right. Well, he's done it before. Well, he stood in before. I don't see the point in getting rid of him. I think you've been on before, Andreas, and been a Rodgers fan. I think you'll find you're in a group of one there. We need a striker up front. Yeah. Jordan, I am sticking to Leicester fans at the moment, mate. I'll add you to the list to see how it goes. But at the moment, I'm just sticking to that's why I'm going to bring Brad on in a second. 3 shots on goal. Scott Parker returned to be a postman. Let's see, it used to fight for the top 6 tooth and nail. They don't fight to get out of a paper bag now. Scott Parker returned to being a postman. They said Postman Parker would put the wrong letters through the wrong door. Neil Warnock. Great, you're a gentleman, sir. Thank you so very, very much for that. I'm getting all bronze on the list. Chris, have a beer on me. What a wonderful day. Great, you are a utter gentleman. Thank you so very much. I will celebrate. James, thanks for popping in, James. Thanks for sharing these happy moments with us. Later, James. Hi, Brad. Brendan Rodgers is only 50 years old. Man, he looks like he's nearer 60. Anthony, honestly, mate, I would have said take it. You never know, he may get in again. In my opinion, I shouldn't have been gone ages ago. The second could go really well. That's the risk. Was it the right risk? Thanks. Yeah, really appreciate it, Gray. Thank you very much. Was it the right risk or was it the wrong risk? There's a game called Risk, I think, isn't there? Let's have a look and bring Brad in. Brad, you've got to be happy. If
We're going to beat Villa 5-0 because the clown has left the ground. We kicked at Ronald McDonald and our Leicester will be sound. I'm not happy at all, mate. I'm devastated. Totally, it's a saddening moment to lose such a beautiful human being as a manager.
It would really with the reverence that it deserves,
Yeah. I'm not ecstatic that his tactics have finally been disintegrated on his football club.
A minute silence. No. Let's get this. That actually hurt.
I can't wait for Tuesday night. We're going to win 5-0. I'm going to be right. You're going to look like fools. Pearson's coming back for round 3. Says, I'll do it again. It's all right. No worries. And then God knows who it is. I don't even care who it is right now.
You know what? I finally played this because I thought he's in bed, the lazy git. He's missing it all. And I played this, so I'm going to play it again now.
That was my wake-up call. I heard that and I went, Brendan Rodgers must have been sacked.
The funny thing is, mate, I did a show earlier, Life's a Pitch.
Yeah.
With Top saying, like, he's got to go, grow a pair, Top. It's time for you to stand up. I finished the show, and within 5 minutes, I have not even loaded it up as a podcast, and obviously I'm not going to now because it's not going to be worth doing. It's out of date. Doug messaged me and goes, he's gone. And I went, really? And I went on, I'm like, yes, what news? What news? Are you surprised?
No, I'm not in a way because I honestly think it got to a point where it was indefensible.
Sorry, can I just say, Michael, be careful what you're saying. I'm not going to even repeat that or put it up on the screen, but do be careful what you are saying and what you're accusing people of, because that actually technically is slanderous. So please do not say that about somebody who's not here to defend himself. And I don't mean Brendan. And certainly, as far as I know, he is not doing that. And Simon says, good to have some spiritual content. Sorry, Brad, do carry on, mate.
No, you're welcome. I mean, there was that fear, wasn't there, that he was going to blindly have faith in the man that, once all this has calmed down and we're hoping now that whoever comes in keeps his club afloat, we will have to remember that he did bring some good times to Leicester. He brought us European football, for Christ's sake. He got us to a semi-final, and he did win us an FA Cup, the elusive FA Cup. It was probably, it was more elusive than the Premiership because we never thought we'd ever win it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It was elusive because we kept losing finals. So, as much as we're cheering now, I can understand to a degree why he got so long as he did. But I just think, you take everything, and I mean pretty much every inch of that Crystal Palace game and go, they had 30 shots. We never looked like troubling them. We had one attack that led to a goal, and they still found a way to win. Them players just look like they cannot do it. And we've been saying it for weeks, Chris. His way of wanting to do things just isn't working. They just cannot perform to it. They need to be aggressive and in your face. We see a different Leicester when, when we're in the face and getting our opponent's face like we did against Brentford, and we did against Tottenham, and we did against Villa in them games, and Forest at home. Not away so much, obviously, but that's when we got our results. We picked up big points this season, and I can say big points this season from them handful of games because there isn't many. We've got 25, so it just needs that re-injecting. I think whoever comes in, whether it's somebody who's experienced at this level, like maybe Ralph Hasenhüttl, who's been at Southampton for a few years, or whether it's a stopgap for 8 or 9 games like an Allardyce who's experienced but isn't going to want a 2-3 year deal. They've got the easiest job in the world. They have the easiest job in the world because I said yesterday, didn't I, in the post-match, Chris, you compare it to our other Leicester sides that got relegated, there is actually talent in this that's good enough and way good enough to be playing in the Premiership week in, week out, and there's more calibre of it than there was Leicester teams that have gone down before. So Still, please never hear the words Frank Lampard signs for Leicester or something like that. But right now, I'd even take that if it was to the end of the season. I'd take it for the end of the season.
This is what I've been saying, and I'm gonna go through some of the managers that are out of contract at the moment as well. But what do the club do now? They've obviously put Mike Stowell and Andy Sadler in charge. Hopefully, they'll involve Johnny Evans in some way because he has got amazing experience, and possibly even Vardy up front. Who knows? But I mean, they've done it before. Mike Stowell's done it before. So, do they stick with them? I guess it depends on the results until the end of the season, or do they appoint somebody? And they're going to have to appoint somebody because I don't think they're going to give it to Mike Stowell full time. No disrespect to him, but he's just, he's not experienced enough. Do they bring somebody in for 10 games or 9 games? It'll be after Villa, or do they look at this and think, well, let's wait and get the right guy in?
My only concern with potentially trying to bring someone in on a stopgap now is in a space of 7 days, it's going to be 6 games, that person you're asking them to manage, or 7 games, because we've got Villa on the Tuesday and then we've got Bournemouth on the Saturday. So in a blink of an eye, because this clearly isn't a decision, from what I can tell, this does not feel like a decision made by a chairman who's gone, I'm going to sack you, thanks very much, and then 6 o'clock tonight, we're hearing that Nuno Espirito's the manager, or Koeman's coming back and taking over, Leicester. Or, it doesn't seem like there's an immediate chain reaction of events here. It sounds like he's kind of seen us lose to Palace, seen the reaction of fans and gone, I've got to get rid of you. And it says mutual consent, which, I know they're going to say he wasn't outright satisfied with the term. But it doesn't feel like there's a plan of action to go with it. I am a little bit worried that it's going to be Mike Stowell at the end of the season, because he'll obviously get tactically done by, well, maybe not with Jurgen Klopp this season, but you know what I mean? With certain games, you're going to expect him to get Klopp.
Well,
but
Rodgers,
Rodgers, but look at Shakespeare. Look at Shakespeare's run that he had after Claudio Ranieri. He beat Liverpool 3-1 in his first league game. Beat Seville. You don't know. Give these players the freedom to go out there and play attacking football. You don't really need to coach them for 7 games. They know how to survive. You know what I mean? They know how to keep this club up if they're allowed to play football. And maybe Mike Stowell to the end of the season is a better option than, like you say, bringing someone in who, by the time he comes in, gets settled and integrates, he's got 4 games essentially to do things his way, and it potentially won't work.
But let's just have a look at the statement again. I think I've still got that up there. Yes, I have. Let's just see what Top said. The achievements of the team under Brendan's management speak for themselves. We've experienced some of our finest footballing moments under his guidance, and we'll always be grateful to him and his staff to the heights they helped us reach. And in fairness, yes, he did. Let's be honest with you. He did bring, as Top goes on to say, he did bring us the first FA Cup in our history. It was under his, however we did it, he was manager. He got us to, 5th twice. I mean, that is, when you look back, and a European semi-final. I don't care what you say. It was only the conference. I don't care. If Arsenal had have won it, they'd have been absolutely joyful. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
all this, to be honest with you, it's kind of icing on the cake, because we know Brendan has got a payoff. And it is not 10 million before anybody starts saying, we found the 10 million.
Sick of that. Yeah, sick of that.
Yeah, it is not. It is not. It is not. And he certainly wasn't on that a year anyway. But they've got an agreement. They said, right, but however it's worked out, I don't think it was mutual, but there we go. They always let the sack manager save a bit of face, don't they? That's what they've done here, and they've agreed. And let's be honest, Brendan Rodgers now can't go on to somewhere and go, this is shit, they're treating me like this, blah, 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 because then he wouldn't get his money. But then he's also, let's just say, look, we're not going to diss you in public. So, That's the agreement. It's just a shame because I literally on one of the social networking sites have just connected with the Leicester City assistant manager, and he's been sacked as well. So
I think.
yes.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me.
But this is what I mean. Rob Dorset says nobody is lined up.
See, this is what I mean. This is what makes me think it's not like a. Who was it that kind of sacked a manager and within an hour they had an appointment? Was that Leeds? Or yeah, it was, wasn't it? With Bielsa, they sacked Bielsa and then they instantly hired him. It doesn't sound like it's a decision that he's really wanted to make, but he knows he has to for the sake of the club, which I've got to give a little bit of credit to if that's how he's gone about it, because like you say, you really wanted him to turn it around for his success, but they don't have anyone in the pipeline. Maybe tells me they're thinking, let's find out where we are first before we start appointing big name managers.
I mean, I think, look, I mean, like I say, it was funny because I just finished doing a show saying, Top, please grow a pair, and, you know, you need to make this decision now. I love the fact that you've written £192 million off for us. It does show your commitment, but you have got to start making some, you know, serious decisions. And I'm not claiming any credit for it at all, just 99.9%. But any owner worth their salt should have some idea of manager. I mean, how long has this been going on for?
Oh yeah, of course it is. And again, the borrowed time was probably given out on a loan and an extension and a promise to pay from Brendan in terms of, I'll turn it around, I can still sort this, please, you know, show faith. And you know, the owners, again, with a degree of rightness to kind of go, well, yeah, go on, man. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're convincing me that you can turn it around. You know, your history proves that you can get these players working again. So we believe in you. We take on board that we've had our part to play in this downfall, because they have. They hit the fact. He came into this summer thinking, I'm going to have 70 million to spend. I'm going to have some money just to bolster the squad. I don't really want to change anything. And then he gets told, no, we ain't got any transfer fund. You haven't got anything. You've got to make it yourself. You know, so there was a little bit of blame on them. And maybe he just felt a little bit bad that he sold Brendan down the river and wanted desperately to see it turn it around. But when you don't have a manager in line, that maybe tells me you're just hedging your bets on where you'll be.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying they've got one manager in mind, but I think they will have options there. You know, I don't think we'll get maybe as quick as when Rodgers came in. But and I've got to say, look, you know, I defended Rodgers in the show this morning over the summer, you know, the debacle of all the transfers and what have you, and the FFP, because that was totally 100% down to Top, and the, you know, taking a club that everybody, you know, said wanted to use us as the model for how their club should be run to a club that everybody's laughing at. But you know, he has given. Well, listen what Rob Dorset said here, and I can see where he's coming from. I think they've agonised an awful lot over this decision. This is not an easy decision for Leicester to have made. I think, in truth, a number of Premier League clubs would have pulled the trigger earlier, such has been Leicester's poor form. He is very highly thought of, Brendan Rodgers, in the Leicester hierarchy, and very popular with the fan base. Sorry, I choked on that earlier when I read that, because I think I said, Rob Dorset, you've just pulled out a very old story here and have just reworded it. There was a feeling that Brendan Rodgers was building something for the long term with Leicester and all their ambitions. However, it feels to me that this is very much a decision that Leicester bosses have taken for the short term rather than the long term. They've taken the decision with a heavy heart, and my understanding is that they gave Rodgers every chance to turn things around and that he earned the chance to turn things around. And I guess, yes, he was given the chance, and fair play to Top for giving him that chance, in fairness.
Yeah, it's one of them, and I understand that the likes of Terry and I do get where they're coming from, because I think it's very correct what Rob's saying there, though. Any other manager, under any other circumstances, had Rodgers not taken us to a European final, had Rodgers not won a silverware, had Rodgers not had us finish in the top 5, and we were talking about 3 seasons of 8th to 10th to 12th sort of positions, probably would have been gone early. And I know, sentiment's the biggest killer in football, because that's probably extended his stay in the fact that they really believed that he could turn it around. And now comes the next biggest conundrum for Leicester. Do they allow Mike Stow? And obviously they're going to get a bounce from it. I can't imagine how Leicester don't get a bounce from Leicester players, because Mike Stow is just a goalkeeping coach with the greatest respect to him. He doesn't have the qualifications.
Yeah, you know what goalkeepers are like, don't you, Brad?
Oh yeah, we're going to win the league now. That's it. Put your money on it. Mike Stow to win the Premiership with Leicester. No, but in all seriousness, he's going to know what them players are really good at. He's going to go, well, I can't keep doing what we were doing because that's clearly not working. Where are my best 11 players? Nacho, Daka, Madison. Yeah, and then he's going to go 4-4-2 because it's a basic, it's the easy one. He's going to pick away in style, and he's really going to turn around and go, Evans, please tell me how these should play to get the best out of them, because I only know what Rodgers told him, and that ain't good enough. I can just see us going for the season.
Been there before.
Yeah.
So he does know, I think, a little bit more probably than you may be giving him credit. I know what you're saying, though. I do know what you're saying. And I do hope that Johnny Evans is involved in some way, because he's got that experience. He's won European Cups. He's worked under the likes of Ferguson. His knowledge should be used. Not on the pitch, because I think that's past, but certainly it should be used.
Do you reckon we could cancel Sharky's loan at West Brom and get in Albrighton into the end of the season?
I'd have him back. I mean, he's got another year on anyway. He's got another year left on his contract, don't forget. Let's just go through some chats and catch up with these. Honestly, today I'm falling so far behind the chat, but there's so many people trying to get the thoughts in. Our best form of defence is attack. I wouldn't be against bringing someone off the radar doing decently in Europe. Mike said okay. Jimmy Quinn.
What about
Harry Redknapp? Do you want me to nip down and have a word? I mean, you don't see him now because, of course, the shop's shut. But give me his address, mate. I'll nip down. I'll have a word with him. Knock on his door. Got a job for you, Harry. I feel the players don't know. I mean, this is it. It could go either way. Nigel Pearson, Bielsa, Hotterhow for me. It's still perhaps no. You see, again, you might as well give it to Steven Gerrard or Frank Lampard. He hasn't got any managerial experience,
What about the bloke who was sat by Bayern? No, Nagelsmann or whatever his name. I'm not going to try not to say it because I don't want to butcher a name, but he was an up and coming manager. He was a very big punt, wasn't he, from Bayern? If I write Bayern, it wasn't like he was a well-known indulged name in the managerial industry. People might tell me differently because I'm not that familiar with foreign managers and how long they're doing it. But he's young manager. He was taking a punt out.
But again, would he come to a team that could potentially still be, end up in the Championship? I mean, God, he's come from Bayern Munich,
Yeah, but he's young, to my understanding. He's obviously hungry to prove himself. I mean, he might be able to get sold the dream that, you know what? Not only can I keep this club up, but this European football, I can do that. I can bring that back here with the right team, and I can see that here with the players you've got. It all depends how they go about the business, how they sell the job, really, because that's as much on top to sell the job as it is for a manager to want the job. And someone they approach to want the job. And I know Dorset says that they haven't approached anybody. I know you've spoken about it before. We've talked about Ben Foster does a podcast and he has people like Sean Dyche on when he was out of jobs. Yeah. And he tells you people put their applications in, they have a word in, they say, how's Rodgers' position looking? Because my client's looking, he'd be interested if you fancy changing manager.
Managers have agents just like players, don't they?
Yeah. So, you know, I'm sure there's some people, maybe like Nuno, the ex-Wolves boss, who, you know, I know it sounds ridiculous, but maybe Conte fancies like, I'm in London, I can't be asked to move. I'll take it for 8 games, and then I'll go over to Italy and France, you know, or wherever I'm going to go. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you know what I mean? Like, they're available. Why would you not at least approach them?
Yeah.
You know, it's like trying to sign Cafu and Rivaldo with Sven.
Yeah,
you know,
I guess. But Terry says, well, I suggested Pearson, I was sneered at. I've never said no to Pearson, but I just want I would say no to Pearson on his own, and I really apologise to Anthony because, like I say, he's in the job at Bristol City, and I think it's not nice to talk about managers when they're in other jobs and the people you know. But Anthony, I said that to Anthony earlier, but if it was him and Shakespeare, because of course Shakespeare's out of work at the moment, and bring them back as a team, yes. My question is, who do you feel is actually top? Who's made this decision on board advisors over? I think it probably is top, to be honest with you. That era has passed. FM, you're quite right. Scott, good morning, good afternoon. Are you well, Scott? Bring on Will Still. Who is he? People are going on and on about this.
So he's quite infamous at the moment. He is a manager who technically, I can't remember who it is he's managing, but he actually hasn't got the actual qualifications to be a top tier manager. I don't know what license it is you need. I think it's like a national A license.
Yeah.
And he's 30 odd years of old. He spent his entire life basing football management off the game Football Manager. He's done survival things. He's kept clubs up. He's won them things, I believe. Maybe not won things. I'm not 100% sure on that. I've only seen brief video of it because I was like you, like, who is he? Basically, he hasn't got the qualifications, and each week he's employed, it costs the club that hire him 20 grand a week because he doesn't meet the credentials to technically manage that club. So if we brought him in, it costs us 20 grand a week. So are we going to take a risk on that much of a manager? I don't know. Maybe in a few years' time when he's got the qualifications and we can just get him without paying 20 grand a week. Maybe that's one for the future we keep an eye on. But right now, stay away from something like that. Let him show his maturity to deal with that and get through something like that. I don't think the club you don't want to hire a headache. You know what I mean?
No. And to be honest with you, because it works at one place, we need somebody to come in that's got the experience. And we will be looking at some of those in a second. Leicester need a manager who does wonders on budgets, like a Unai Emery or a Poch. Leicester need to think long-term, see Leonardo. There's risky going back to the EFL, and the main risk is finding the wrong person to steady the ship before the new season. The thing is, whoever comes in, let's say I was given that job, and I've been managing Portsmouth or Southampton or somewhere, and I was given the job, and we got relegated. I'd just turn around and go, yeah, but God, it was an impossible task. Did you see what Rodgers left me? Did you see the state that he left the club in?
Yeah, of course. And again, the cycle would repeat itself. The owners would go, yeah, we knew we'd give you short time. You know, and as long as you didn't lose every game and you got some results and it was, went down on drawing and someone won and you had an argument to base it off, you get given the time in the Championship. Like you said, the only problem with that is if you was a manager, say, for example, like the one I said, the former Bayern Munich manager, he might go, I don't want to manage in the Championship. It's not my fault. Rodgers is to blame. I did. That was it. No, Steve, have you seen Steve Lynex's predictions? No, we don't want him in charge of the team. He'd be predicting us to win and we'd lose every game.
I've invited him on, but I think he must be out for the day.
He's probably celebrated. He'll probably come on. He'll probably keep drinking until the next prediction show and go 5-0 every game.
One thing is you want a manager in the Premier. This is the problem. Is now is he has made it difficult for himself, and fair play, he's finally made that decision. West Ham are winning still 1-0 with about 5 minutes to go. So I think Moyes is in a job for another week.
Oh God! I said they'd lose 3-0 and get sacked. For God's sake, boys, you had one job, boys: lose and come manage Leicester to the end of the season.
But yeah, should it have happened before the international break? Was it the performance more than anything that tipped it over the edge? Because you look at that performance and there was no defending it. And for Rodgers to come out and say, there's not a lot in that game, fucking hell, what were you drinking? You know?
Desperation. That's what he was drinking. And the players' interviews. I mean, Ricardo did his interview afterwards and he looked like his brain was like trying to answer the questions that were being asked him, and his brain was like, what do I say? Because he didn't know what to say. In a sense, so he kind of just spoke Rodgers' words by saying, "It's hard to take." He looked desperate, as if someone was going to hold up a cue card for him to read off what he was going to say, because he didn't look it. But
yeah. Wilshere and Matty Elliott, Elevator. I'm not surprised he got sacked. I never get news from One Football or anything. I know. Doug told me. I tell you what, forget Fabrizio. Just rely on Doug.
Doug is the Fabrizio of the world. Trust me.
Yeah, Jesse Marsh. He's been sacked because we are bottom 3. He's sacked because he was shit, and I think he was given enough. That's saying, give somebody enough rope and they hang themselves.
Yeah.
I
mean, I did see this. There is a lot of tweets that. In fact, it was Fabrizio that put this out late last night, saying that very similar to the situation with Nagelsmann at Bayern Munich, the board are ready to make a U-turn with Graham Potter because he's under severe pressure. Because you know how he said it doesn't matter about results, we're going to let it go. Well, it seems like their hierarchy have gone, "Oi, Mr. Billionaire, we're still losing," and he's gone, "Oh yeah, crap, we are. Maybe we should change manager." I'd take him because he proved at Brighton he could do it for a mid-table level. Why not? Bring the small fish back to a slightly medium-sized pond and let Potter do it. There's your answer. Chelsea. We've had a bit of a link with Chelsea, haven't we, over the years? You think about Muzzy as it came from there and players like that. All right, we've had our downsides with Dennis Wise, but you sack him, you can have Rodgers to the end of the season. We'll take Potter and see who finishes higher. I know they're probably way too many points off us to catch up if they lost every game, but you know what I mean? Like, who's going to have the better end of the season?
Gaia says we were waiting for us to drop into the relegation zone. We'd been there already this season, so I don't think they were, to be honest with you. We don't know. There's going to be so much speculation. DJ Savvy's in the house. Do what I did there. Big up, guys. Not a Leicester fan. You're still welcome, mate. You are still welcome. Just here to support your channel. Thank you so very much. Click that subscribe button. You'd be a hero. I'm a Chelsea fan. How about Ralph Suttonhall? He's done a good job at Southampton and has Premier experience. We're going to talk about other managers now, if Brad's all right for time.
Oh, I'm well happy for time on this news, mate. To talk about the managers.
Suddenly, I'm not hungry anymore. But I just can't believe how it happened so quickly after I finished my other one. But I mean, Potter, and you mentioned Potter. We have joked about Potter. I did not like Potter because I think what got me with Potter was the hype that surrounded him about how he was this New England manager. He was this, he was that, and I'm like, do something. But obviously he's now gone to Chelsea and he's trying to do something at Chelsea, and I can see why Bowie's got him in there. It was a surprise. I was totally left field, to be honest with you. But again, I can see what Bowie's trying to do with an English manager.
Yeah.
But is he... come on, Saints. They've just hit the woodwork. Would I have him at Leicester? Should Chelsea sack him? I don't think he will leave Chelsea to come to Leicester. Why would you? Chelsea, let's be totally honest, Chelsea are a lot bigger club than Leicester. We can't deny that. You know, and Oh yeah, that's fine, mate. That's fine. Yeah, but if Chelsea were to sack him, then yes, I would take Potter, definitely, 110%. Now, and like I say, I wasn't his biggest fan by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not going to leave Chelsea because he will get such a massive payoff if Chelsea do sack him. And I think, to be honest with you, had Abramovich been in charge, I don't think he would have got the job, but I think he would have been sacked now anyway.
Yeah, and I just wonder if maybe Potter is actually regretting leaving Brighton, because I think whilst he was earning the right to, and he had, if you looked at his short time at Brighton in the Premier League, he kept them up, he stabilised them, and then all of a sudden this season he had them on a charge for Europe.
Yeah.
I think two things went wrong with that. He jumped before he was ready, and Chelsea approached before they'd seen enough of him. Now, you know, because this could be a totally different scenario in reports of Graham Potter. If Graham Potter had turned round to Chelsea and gone, no, I'm going to commit to my job here at Brighton, I want to see out the season, and kind of went to Chelsea, you know, let's see where we are next year, you know, because we know you don't like managers longer than 12 months, wink, wink, nudge, nudge sort of thing, you know, tongue in cheek, kind of saying, let me prove myself a bit more with Brighton so I can get a backing from you and a bit more belief from their fans, and then I'll come and join you in the summer sort of thing. Maybe it would have worked out, because you look where Brighton are now, and you can imagine they'd only be where they are now playing under Potter because of how well they're playing.
I think
now
that one is, though, Brad, and I know what you're saying, but Chelsea might have said, bugger off, we're going to get Nagelsmann in or
mate.
Whatever.
Yeah.
When these clubs come along,
you have
whether
to take
you're ready or not for it, it's like Frank Lampard when he went to Chelsea. How could he turn that down? Because he would never know if that offer would ever come along again.
Yeah, and again, I get it. I get that you can't really turn them opportunities down because they come around once in a blue moon. But and I hope this doesn't go the same way as it. But Potter could find himself in the same situation as Rodgers was with Liverpool. You know, Rodgers did very well with Swansea. He got them promoted, didn't he? He was the one that got them promoted. I could be wrong on that one, but he did very well. Then he got offered, Yeah, and then his exploits earned him the job with Liverpool. They came very close to winning silverware with Rodgers. I know, obviously, we did win silverware with Rodgers. All right, we ballsed up the semi-final. We didn't get European silverware, but by God, he'd still have a job for the next 10 years if he'd have won that, you're thinking, with the sentiment he's been held now. But, you know, now look what happened to Rodgers after that. He had to go to a club. And you know, tongue-in-cheek with the disrespect to Celtic and Rangers in the Scottish League, but he had to rebuild. He had to rebuild his own confidence. He had to prove to fans of the game, and he had to prove to himself that he still had it, and that a higher job in the future wasn't out of his reach. Maybe he jumped too early, sort of thing, and missed a ledge, if you will, with Liverpool. Yeah. And he was hoping that maybe Leicester, you know, because teams like maybe Everton in a few seasons' time or whatever, or next season or whatever, will look at Rodgers and go, okay, he didn't end that well at Leicester, but look what he did at them. You know, and he still got jobs.
There's no other industry out there. You get sacked for doing a bad job, and then somebody gives you the same job within a couple of months, you know.
No, he'll get the Spurs job. He'll get the Spurs job, no doubt, I reckon. He's nailed on to get that now.
Good luck Spurs if he does.
But again, Potter takes that same route, doesn't he? If he gets booted from Chelsea, even if it's at the end of the season, we have Mike Stowell in charge, I wouldn't mind saying, you know, you want to rebuild your reputation and prove Chelsea wrong? Here's a 5-year contract.
Yeah, but we know that he can do that, don't we, in the Premier League?
Exactly, and it's a bit more safe in the knowledge we know he can do it.
Yes. Colonel, I'd sooner have Scott Parker's cardigan on its own than the both of them together. Sam Allardyce or Jesse Marsh. The comments are just coming in so quick, mate. We've got
go through it, fly through it.
Macclesfield won their second successive promotion yesterday. Neil Dans is the manager.
Neil Dans, that's a throwback.
I've actually been trying to get Neil Dans on the conversation onto a show, and he did actually say that he is. He's too busy. Obviously, that's why. Maybe I should just send him a little message now saying congratulations. Just remember us at the end of the season. Top must have said that if we hit bottom 3, Rodgers is gone. I know I don't agree with that because we'd already been in the bottom 3. We've been bottom. Let's be honest with you. And let's not disrespect what Brendan has done for us. Like I say, 2 top 5s, as Top was saying, 2 top 5s, FA Cup, Community Shield, European semi-final. I loved Ranieri. He won us the Premier League, but he had to go. Managers, like players, like owners, they come and go. The club will always stay, but they will come and go.
Yeah. And I think it's just obviously got to that point where even he can't do it.
Yeah.
Zagorakis
is actually something to do with the Greek Football Association, like their equivalent of the FA. So he's actually tied up with that at the moment.
Theo Zagorakis, he was a killer of a player, weren't he, when he was fit? When he was fit to play. God, I mean, he's got European experience. He took Greece to the Euros and won that. So who knows? Maybe we could talk him in. Who's next? Graham Fenton?
He's a manager. Mark Robbins, he's done it. He's at Coventry at the moment. I've been questioning Klopp's position for ages. If Chelsea lose to Liverpool, then Potter is 100% getting sacked. Well, maybe. Let's hope so, because we can get in there then. When we dropped bottom 3 before, there were tons of matches to play. For now, it's different, only 10.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I get what you're saying. It's a fair point, yeah. No, don't want West Ham have won 1-0.
Yeah, I just saw that.
They were holding on at the end there, apparently. So it does mean the Premier League says it's 20th place. It's Southampton with 23. 19th, Leicester on 25. West Ham are up to 14th, can you believe, on 27. It sounds really good, but they're only 1 point off Everton in 18th on 26. And Leeds. Yeah. And West Ham, in fairness, have still got a game in hand as well. But Southampton have played one more game than us. But
yeah, doesn't that work out with the midweek games though? Because now we've now got like a game in hand on some teams. So technically, so hopefully, if West Ham can get stuff at the weekend and we can win our game, we'll be. It'll only be a blip in the bottom 3. That's what we need. We need that right now. We need to win at the midweek and get ourselves out of the bottom 3. And already you look 10 times better option to really come in for a job, even if it's by goal difference or points. Seeing the team 16th.
They're 14th now, West Ham, but they are only that 1 point when you look at it the other way. Scott says he doesn't want Potter. DJ Savvy, I'll be honest, I never wanted Potter. He's a good manager, but the Chelsea job too big for him. You should never have got rid of Thomas Tuchel. I'd love him. He isn't going to
he's gone though, isn't he? No, he's at Dortmund now, isn't he?
Oh, he is, isn't he? Of course, I forgot that, yes. I still love him, but it's not the right time for Potter. I think he's a good manager, but he's gone wrong at Chelsea. To come in and lift us now after his experience, not the time. I know, but I do agree with Grant. I think he's got a point to prove now.
Yeah, I think, 2 wounded soldiers come together, a wounded squad and a wounded manager, a bit of anger at the situation they're in, could work together. You know what I mean? I was just thinking that.
Scott, they're not gonna be looking at making Mike Stow permanent manager, even if he was to win the next 10 games. He's only, like Brad said, he's only ever a goalkeeping coach. Theo won the Euros. Yeah, we're looking at the odds in a second. Anthony, Simon Grayson. There's a lot of ex-players out there. Unfortunately, most of them have got the job.
I'm getting flashbacks. We're gonna have the 90s crew back as the backroom staff, aren't we? We're gonna have Esky as the striker coach. He's gonna get promoted from within. Yeah. We're gonna have Walshy and Tags in as the defensive coach. We'll have Is the midfield coach, and we'll get Theo Zagorakis as manager. Sorted, lads. We've got it done.
You can't say that we are not looking after our ex-players, can you? We'll get Evans in as chief medical.
We'll never play with Blake and metatarsal.
Yeah, I've sent you the link, Neil. Just if you can pop on for 5. I've only just seen the message. Football managerial game fun. We need someone who knows the club. We know someone who knows football and how to get our players to pass to each other.
I'll do it if the club are willing to take a 20 grand fine for me not having a licensing.
If you win, I think they'd do it, mate. Stowell is the interim Barry anyway. Stowell and Andy Sadler. Or Adam Sandler. No, Adam Sadler. That's Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler's a comedian.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I know our club's a bit of a joke at the moment, but that's extreme.
I've coloured in. I've doodled over my notes here. Adam Sadler. That's it. Let me get my teeth in. Scott. No, not Rafa Benito. Well, till the end of the season, but not.
Yeah, 3 months deal. Short term, you're thinking the likes of Benitez and Allardyce, aren't you? You really are, because that's what other clubs have done. Even Championship clubs are doing it. So.
I mean, I think Neil might be joining us. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when he sent that through, but from beyond the 90, it'd be nice to get his thoughts. He's just said like, yeah, we've done it. Right, these are the odds. I don't know how this was done about an hour or less than an hour ago. So these are the odds as it stands. Don't know if you can see those at all, Brad.
No, I cannot. You'll have to read through it.
I'll read them through then. Rafa Benitez is 4-1 favourite.
Again, short term.
Yeah, Thomas Frank 5-1. I think we'd all take him, but I don't think there's a cat in hell's chance he'd come.
He's a next season appointment for me.
Yeah, if we are still up, you know.
Well, yeah, that and Brentford don't make Europe.
Yeah, and now I don't know who this guy is. And Posters.
Oh yeah, he's the Celtic manager. I know exactly who you're trying to say because of his name. His first name is Angus Pollard.
That's it.
Yeah. Can we not hire him because Paul Chris would have to say his name every time we get a win or a draw or loss?
No, he would be known as Ange. He would be known as Ange. I tell you what, though, it's a bloody good score at Scrabble. Bielsa is 10-1.
No thanks.
Thing is, I know he would not come in till the end. Till the end of the season, I would consider him full time. Probably not. And we know he would not come in because who was it? He turned down Southampton, didn't he? Because he wanted to go into Southampton and manage a couple of weeks with the under-19s, which sounds like a good idea. And you're getting to know people and what's there, etc. But then, we haven't got that long. But he's 10-1, along with Pochettino and Huthenhall. Now Pochettino, he isn't going to come. Why would he come to Leicester?
I don't know, I mean, he probably thought after the PSG job, which was, I know it was unsuccessful, but I don't know. I mean, again, redemption. Do you want to have a chance? Leicester's the biggest and open opportunity for a manager like that to not just reinvigorate the club, but reinvigorate themselves.
We'd have to get him, wouldn't we?
Yeah, of course would. And you would assume that would again probably have to be a start of the season, end of this season appointment, sort of thing. I don't know. But you can't rule out Pochettino because, again, Leicester can sell the fact that, we've got the players here. This is what we've done. That you've seen what we've achieved. We picked you to a title and you finished third. I don't think he'd say that in this interview for him, and trying to sell. But you know what I mean? It's not like Leicester are all of a sudden got 25 championship players and they're doomed to the championships. So why would he come? He would believe in himself that he could comfortably steer Leicester safe this season, and he would back himself to go, yeah, that top 8's up for grabs for Leicester. I can guide Leicester to that. We can do that. And I don't know why Pochettino, who's been out of work for a while, would actually consider Leicester, because in recent history, we're fairly successful in terms of silverware. And, the one bad season doesn't change your product trajectory unless it's relegation. Now, Pochettino comes in, we go and beat Villa, we go and beat these teams in and around us, and Leicester finish 14th and end up going, oh, God, that last 10 games saved our blushes. Next season, you know, he maybe does bring in a few players. He's actually got a budget to spend that he wasn't afforded to at Tottenham. He knows a few players, maybe from his Southampton days, maybe a few players from his time at Spurs. And, you know, get him in. I don't know why Pochettino wouldn't think, actually, you know what? Leicester could be the ideal tonic to my career. You know, you've got to have it go hand in hand. We don't want to hire a manager. You know, we don't want to do a Spurs and get Conte in, and then after 3 games he can't be asked because he realises what a trouble the club is. Back someone with a bit of faith, tell them we believe in them, sell them the dream that this could be their redemption, give them a 5-year deal, and even if in 3 years' time he buggers off and goes back to bloody Tottenham or Chelsea or whatever and moves on, or Bayern Munich or whatever in 3 years' time, if he's got us back up fighting up into the European spots, come on down, Pochettino. You are playing the Leicester's Price is Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Like I say, we have to stay up for him. I think that's the main thing. He has stayed out of work when a lot of big jobs have come up, and he's you know, whether he's applied or he's been asked and he's turned them down, I don't know. Obviously, all the rumours were that he was waiting for the Tottenham job, but now Nagelsmann, is it how you pronounce it, is being linked with that. Any manager that comes to Leicester and makes a success of Leicester is going to be potentially poached by another club, just like players. Managers are no different. Look how close, you know, well, not close, but Brendan Rodgers was being linked with Spurs and Arsenal and Barcelona. He's been linked all over the place, wasn't he?
Yeah, of course he was.
Because he was doing well. Now, I can see what you say about Poch. Poch could look at that and go, a bit like Ranieri when he came in, like, am I really going to win Premier League again with Leicester? No, probably not, in all honesty. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Could I get them into Europe? Yes, quite possibly. Would Leicester be happy if that was as much as I achieved? Yes, we bloody would. So the pressure's probably on him less. Right, this is going to be interesting because with all these new, we have got the best training ground as well, so that is a pull in fairness. I'm going to try and bring Neil in now, but this could be very interesting because I've got...
Yeah, no one's seen my face.
There we go. It worked. No.
You're all right.
Give us a smile.
I'm smiling. It's gone from relief to like, okay, what do we do now? I think we're in that position now. We're like, right, what do we do? But somebody had a good suggestion, and the more I think of it, the more it makes sense. Johnny Evans till the end of the season. Now you've got Mike Stowell there. You've got Adam Sandler there. They've been there for ages.
No, stop.
Yeah, I made that mistake, didn't I?
I said that before, and he took the piss out of me. Go on, Brad. Take the piss out of him as well.
Look, Neil, I know you're excited, and I know this club's a bit of a joke at the moment, but we can't have a comedian in. We haven't got the money to get Ryan Reynolds in to get this club saved. We can't have Adam Sadler in as our executive. It won't work.
Yeah, it's... Do you know what? Yeah, cheers, Gray. Hopefully you're good, man. With us, it's frustrating, but coming into this, the fact that you've got the foundations there, what's really underrated, I don't know if you've touched on it already, the lead fitness coach has also left. So that for me is a really big deal because of the amount of injuries that we've got. Yeah. I think it's a really... These are things that we're looking at going, okay, this is something we can build on, but we just need somebody to stabilize it till the end of the season. We've seen it before with Craig Shakespeare, but with Adam there, and we've got what's it called, Mike Stowell there. I think Johnny Evans he's been there, he's done the business, he knows the squad just to kind of turn us in the right direction. That's all we need.
Said exactly the same, and I said last week, Mike Stowell and Johnny Evans till the end of the season, because like you say, he's won things, he's worked under some of the best managers, if not the best manager ever. So yeah, and if they don't, I think Mike. I mean, Mike's done this a couple of times before, so he knows the crack, and I think he will. He'll use players like Evans, I think, and he'll use their knowledge. I really do. Adam Sadler, actually, if you look at that list of latest betting, Sadler is actually 10-1. Surprisingly, he come from nowhere. But yeah, I mean, most of his backroom staff has gone as well, which is good. I think they needed to. Let's be honest with you. But I'm just going to go through this list, Neil, as you came in, and just to say, Neil, just give a shout out to your site. Sorry, I forgot to say that.
It's all right. No, beyond the 90, I'm here to help Chris. But yeah, beyond the 90 if you're interested. But we've had an hour stream as well, so yeah.
And apologies to Brad because I totally forgot Brad as well when he came in. What's your site, Brad?
It's top 10 battles, but honestly, go and support these two guys for their channels. Give them love and support for this moment. Yeah, that's where you find me. Top 10 battles.
Brilliant. I apologize. We're just so excited with this news, isn't it? Yeah. But now reality bites a bit, and it's right. Where do we go from here? First of all, we were just talking about this, but Neil, your thoughts? Somebody short term? Oh, sorry, choice of three. Stick with Stowell and Adam and Johnny, whoever he brings in. Somebody in short term, just to bring a breath of fresh air in, or hold off maybe for a week or two and bring somebody in that's going to be the long-term project, whether we stay up or go down.
I think that we just need somebody to see us out. And the thing is, if you look at our squad, even against our squad is a very good squad. However, we just need somebody to stabilize it. And that's we don't need somebody unbelievable. We just need, I've mentioned this as well, we just need when it was a similar time, a few seasons ago, it feels like a long time ago now, when the Great Escape happened. And what happened? Pearson got everybody together, goes, look, it's us against the world. We go for everything, and we go into every game like a cup final. And it worked beautifully. We kind of just need something similar to that. But the difference is, back then, we didn't know the players could really do what they could in the Premier League. Now these players are pros. They know what they're doing, with the exception of potentially Suter, with the exception of like Christensen, who both look like they can, again, do the dogged work. The majority of them know what they're doing. Play to the best. Let's get the team together. Us against the world. The fans, for once, it's been awful. Going to the ground where you can tell people like, we want Rodgers out, and half the fans like, shut up, we want to stay in the Premier League. And it's been awful. It's been honestly terrible. The fact that we can all we can all rally behind the team again is such a brilliant thing. And I'm really hoping that that's something that we could build on. But I'm kind of rambling, but I think you see my point. It's just happy. It's just nice that we're all on the same page. Look, it's happened, no problem. Let's go again.
It's like Shakespeare, wasn't it, when he took over from Ranieri? That home game against Liverpool was electric, and we won that game 3-1.
So much stuff on social media. This, that, you've let down, blah, blah, blah. And then I think Fuchs came out after the game where he went, we realised it was all online. We went into the world and we realised that they're all behind us. And they still sang Ranieri. We still sang Ranieri's name. And I wasn't at that game, but watching it on telly. I was, and then I think I was working down in London at the time. And I remember thinking they were just singing Ranieri's name. They went through each of the individual players, went through Andy King's, and it was just a lovely. And then obviously we won 2-0, which was fantastic. But
and of course Ranieri, we were still in Europe when we sat Ranieri. Ray has said no Johnny Evans, please. He's terrible on set pieces. Although we do have a set piece coach that he hasn't gone. Morgan over Evans. I'm sorry, I would take Evans over Morgan every day.
You could get both in, but you have Johnny Evans leading it, and Morgan knows what he's doing with the squad. Evans knows what he's doing as like a mentality winner.
You got to be careful we don't end up with too many cooks. That's the only problem, I guess. Look, Rafa Benitez is favourite according to Betfair. And remember, if you are thinking about gambling, when the fun stops, stop. It actually stopped
when Rafa applies the job. Don't.
No, not long term at all. I can't. No, just no. Thomas Frank, I think we've all said we would love him, but why would he come if we go down? I mean, money talks, obviously, but he's not going to come, is he, Neil?
No, he had the opportunity to, and then since when we were playing Nottingham Forest, and then we won 4-0, he signed a new contract. He's fighting for Europe. We're fighting relegation. That the manager should be the other way around. I know we haven't got Brendan Rodgers anymore, but it should have been the other way around. He would be stupid to leave. He really would. And that's me going, I like Thomas Frank. I like what he does. I like the football that he plays. I like that he plays a formation that gets the best out of his players as well. And he develops them. But he would be absolutely stupid to come to us.
Yeah. David just messaged me on my previous show saying, Roger's gone, get in, Top was watching you. So literally just saying, my show 5 minutes, I finished 5 minutes before news broke. I did basically Top go a pair and sack him. But I'm claiming no credit, am I, Brad? I'm claiming no credit at all, you know.
Oh yeah, no. It's
You
like me
did your
claiming
bloody
credit
job
for-
properly, Brad. You'd have got rid of him before. You got rid of all the other bloody managers, but wouldn't do it with Rodgers.
I tried, but it seems like it was a delay in the process. It just didn't come through quick enough.
Yeah, this guy from Celtic, why the hell would we take somebody else from Celtic? Bielsa 10-1. Like I was just saying then, I don't know if you heard it at all, Neil. Now, Pochettino, I've always said, why the hell would he come to Leicester? We've got to stay up. If we go down, then, let's forget half of these names. If we stay up, he could look at it and think, well, I think everybody says he's been waiting for the Spurs job, but Nagelsmann might be challenging him for that. But if he was to come to Leicester, the expectation on him would be a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. If Ranieri had got us to third that season, or even fourth, would we have loved him any the less? No, because that was beyond our wildest expectations. So if Pochettino goes back to Spurs will be expecting to start to win the Champions League, win the Premier League, whatever. Where if he comes to Leicester and he gets us into fourth or fifth again, and maybe the odd cup here and there, there'd be less pressure on him with Leicester than there would be with Spurs.
I don't think he'll come. I genuinely don't think he'll come. The thing is, we're naming all these players, and do you know what? We're naming all these managers. It wouldn't be surprising, like we do with our like, for example, we sold on Wesley Fofana and we got him world fast. We went, who? What? Okay, I'll look at him on YouTube. Okay, and then he comes in and you've had Rob on the channel before, Rob Tanner, and he's mentioned, I think a few years ago, but he mentioned that they're always looking at players to play in different positions if they want to sell on, but also new managers and keeping an eye on continental managers. It won't be surprised we got somebody and I went, I have no idea who that is, but sure, and we'll just run with it. We've got to remember that Leicester is an attractive job to come to. However, I don't think we'll get a name that people will know about. So I think that overall we will get somebody we go, I don't know who this is, but sure, that should be fine. Because the foundation of the club for a manager, I think, is attractive. The training ground, the fact that you've got Martin Glover there with the experience that he's got, Mike Starr. You've got the board. The board are known to be a good board, even though I've got a load of. I think there's major problems at the moment with the way that they're doing the whole ticketing system, which is just stupid. In my personal, it's just rubbish, and it's putting off fans from going to the games. But overall, we've got a good structure there. There's worse structures, but I think we'll go for somebody that we've never heard of before, and they'll be a success. I don't know who it is, but I think I think we'll have this conversation, Chris, 12 months ago. And it's literally the same exact conversation without saying
the same people as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, let me ask you, because Haspur there said, "Welcome along, mate. How the devil are you?" They obviously have just lost Conte. I'll come to you first.
Lost
Brad.
Conte. Conte blew up.
Well, now this is what I'm going to say, because we've been criticising Brendan coming out after every game and naming names and saying this and blaming everything under the sun. I watched Conte implode, not live, I must admit, but whenever we were talking about it, I went and watched it live. And I have to say that guy showed a fucking load of passion in what he was saying. Passion that I have not seen out of Rodgers for, well, when did he sign for us? I
Probably
mean,
I would say the FA Cup final was the last time we saw some decent passion from him.
Well, he went like, and that was it. I mean, he's got those, as I said earlier, his press conferences of about sort of have got the charisma of my ball sack, and I just. I absolutely true. It's true. I absolutely got to give credit to Conte for having the balls. He probably knew he was going to get sacked, and let's be honest with you, he probably didn't bother because he knew he was going to get a few £1 million, well, a lot of £1 million payoff, and he knew he was going to get sacked. But he was saying, "Look, I'm not having people thinking it's me," and he came out. All right, whether Rodgers is being linked with Spurs again, but. Would you want a manager that would show that sort of passion? Brad, we'll come to you first.
Yeah, I would, and I know people can't see why Poch would come in, and I understand that, and I do. And again, he probably, even if he was an outside realm possibility of bringing him, but I just think a manager that has that passion and drive, because the first thing that's got to happen in at Leicester, regardless, is give them the freedom, give them that feel-good factor, give them that, take the edge off things, lighten the load at training for tomorrow, make it a bit more fun, take the focus off the fact that Rodgers has been sacked, that they haven't got a manager, and just focus on what the task is ahead. They've got to get a bit of fun around the ground, they've got to get a bit of an atmosphere in there, they can't let that dwell. And I just wonder, right, for the sake of some of the players, because Top's got to make a decision not just based on either right now or where we are next season to make a decision. He's also, like you said, Chris, what have we always said? You can't sack 15, 20 players, but you can sack a manager. I tell you what Leicester can do, right? And Leicester needs to be careful with the next appointment. And this is why I reckon if you sell it correctly, why not go for Poch, who has that passion, has that belief, has that good bounce about him. He puts an arm around the players. You saw how he was at Southampton. I mean, Southampton fans will tell you that if he wasn't forced to sell the likes of Bale and Lallana and that, they could have been dreaming of more years fighting at the top like they were. Right? And then you have to, you want to talk long term. You've got to you can't just go on a manager and go, oh, let's get Hasenhüttl in because he's Premier League experience. If he's dull as dishwater, how are we going to keep players like Maddison around? Now, I'm not saying if even if we sign Pep Guardiola, Maddison still wouldn't want to leave and go to Chelsea. But if you tell Maddison Tuesday night after we go and beat Villa, and I'm just talking hypothetically, well done lads. By the way, just letting you know, Thursday morning, Pochettino is going to be manager. Maybe Maddison, who's got 1 foot towards Newcastle, goes, oh, Pochettino. Hold on a minute. I know we're not going to finish great this season, but I'm in. And that's where the bold statement comes. If you might have to pay above the odds to get this manager in, because talking about players. But if you make the statement signing, the worst thing Leicester can do is make a vanilla appointment, because it won't matter what the experience they've got. Players like Maddison will go, well, I'm leaving you in safe hands. Thanks very much as I leave to go sign for Arsenal, Chelsea, whoever, blah, blah, blah. Tillemans, forget about it. We'll drop. But you know what I mean? We're talking about that sort of player. Even Iheanacho, you'd throw in there. Not so much Daka, because I think he's probably committed to Leicester and hoping to make it. But there is a few players that will raise an eyebrow and go, hold on a minute. Yeah. I thought the Leicester Express was done, but they've actually been very bold and brave here. They've paid 20 million to get him through the door, even though we're not guaranteed Premier League football. And he comes in on a Thursday like, well done, lads, well done, you beat Villa, or you're unlucky against Villa to get a draw, but we can win this, we're going to win games, we're going to stay up, and I'm going to get us back to where we belong. And he gives them that attitude, goes, wow, we've missed this for 18 months under Brendan Rodgers. You know, we're talking about Mendy and players that didn't want to stay at this club and want to go into somewhere.
Because
But
I need to breathe.
That was a bit of a War and Peace answer, that was, wasn't it?
Just on the can I say something, Chris? On the back of what
if you
it sounds.
answer the same question, then yeah.
Yeah, just on the back of what Brad was saying, because I do agree, and there's part of me that thinks in the same way that when Brendan Rodgers was. Oh, sorry, I'm just watching the women's football as well. They just nearly had a goal. At the moment, you're looking at this, the way the Premier League teams at the moment, and you're going with Poch going to potentially looking at it is possible. I don't think we'll get him, but you look at the fact that Lopetegui went to Wolves, and for no reason, he's a ex-Real Madrid manager. I was like, that can't happen. Yeah, shout out Chester as well. Great guy. Thanks for all the comments as well. And then what's his face? The fact that I've got his name now. Unai Emery went to Villa this season when they were in relegation. But the Midlands at the beginning of the year was terrible. It was us, Villa, Nottingham Forest, and Wolves holding up the bottom of the table. And now we look like the people that are going to make that move and hopefully get some step up. But yeah, I'm hopefully looking forward to just a manager that, even if they're not a big name, just has that character that we need. And we are good at recruiting good characters.
Yes, yeah. I'm not saying, like I say, Conte, but I absolutely, I give him 100% credit for actually having the balls to do that, you know.
The thing about Conte is that he didn't take responsibility for what he did. He brought in a load of players. He spent a lot of money, and they didn't improve the first team. For example, in the summer. So, Richarlison, we've got Jed Spence, another one. There was a few other players that should have built out the squad. He just didn't play them. So, even though he was right, he still needs to. He put this situation on himself. But it was going to backfire. It was genuinely going to backfire this season.
Yeah. Tripe and Onions, maybe the name. Let's just put this Will Still thing to bed. You know, for God's sake, he's having in Premier League. Come on. I mean, if that's the height of your ambition,
people just like Football Manager, and people like a dreamer.
Yeah, he's a chance you take on a newly promoted club that maybe you don't expect to get promoted this season. You know, like if, say, Huddersfield had come up instead of Nottingham Forest last season, you might chance your arm at him because you've got nothing to lose and he's got everything to gain. But not with Leicester City, I'm afraid. No disrespect to them sort of clubs. You chance your arm at the Championship, and if he does well, bring it in.
Dan is in. Good afternoon, Dan. I don't even know what you did at the weekend, but I hope you're well. Thoughts with you as always. A day you guys have wanted for quite a while. Hands off Company. Apparently, Company's been linked with Spurs, so I don't think we'd get him anyway. But we will see, Dan. We will see. Right, look, I think we've basically now just going round in circles, but just to say, go through some names of people that were available. The thing is, they haven't changed that much, Brad, since we had this conversation about 6 months ago.
I've got the list up at the moment, if you like. It's from First for LCFC on Twitter that I've shared as well, so I can bring that up if you like.
I've got that there on Transfer Market.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you,
I can read out some of the lists that we've got. So the latest one again so Rafa Benitez top, Postecoglou 6-1, Graham Potter 7-1, Michael Carrick 8-1, Steven Gerrard 8-1, Thomas Frank 10-1, Andre Villaboas 12-1, Vincent Kompany 12-1, Paulo Fonseca 14-1, Chris Davis 16-1, John Dahl Thomason. Is that the guy from Blackburn?
Yeah.
Yes, he's 16-1. Ralph Hasenhuttl 16-1. Will Still 16-1. Jesse March. If John Dahl Thomason plays with that kind of non-fear, I wouldn't mind him.
You know what? We know that. I mean, let's say there's 10 names there. We know 9 of them ain't gonna come or anything. You know, it's all we know. Like you say, it'll be somebody probably left field and what have you. He said no to Gerrard, not even till the end of the season.
No, rubbish.
No, you've seen how he's handled the dressing room. That ego barely fit through the door at Villa Park. So I won't, he's got no ego to impress at Leicester. They're not going to be impressed by Steven Gerrard. It's like I said to you, I think it was literally this post-match when we were talking about it. He went to Rangers with the greatest respect to that league and its condition. Then players were starstruck by Steven Gerrard being in there. And even they turned around and said, actually, it was his assistant that got all the things because he was talking crap in there. Steven Gerrard just comes across as one of them people that goes, I'm Steven Gerrard, so you listen to me because I am Steven Gerrard and I am him. And it's like, okay, stop referring yourself in the third person, Steven, and actually do a manager's job. And he actually hides behind his career because he actually hasn't got a clue how to manage. He can captain, but he can't manage from the sidelines.
And his assistant, Michael Beale's gone, had a big role to play as well. And the fact that he left and went and started his own managerial career had an effect, I think.
Yeah. Well, a lot of Rangers fans were saying, no, never would we want him back. And B, his assistant was better. So it just tells you.
Yeah, it does. Guys, last question, and it's a one-word answer. Brad, I'll come to you first in hope more than anything, but one name, mate.
Pochettino.
Okay. You're going for the project. And that name could be, like I say, 6 months or, well, not 6 months, 6 games or whatever. Neil, one name off you.
Graham Potter.
Graham Potter. That's 2, but there we go. I'm going to stick my neck out and to go what I said the other week and say Claude Puel back. No, I'm not.
I was going to say, Chris, I need to leave the stream if that's the case,
yeah,
mate.
I need to go. God, all them views you've just worked up and you've just ruined it.
Yeah. Anybody that's new, you'll learn my sense of humour. No, I did actually say...
It's a work in progress, let's say.
Yeah, things are that bad under Rodgers, I would have taken Puel back, but now he's gone, obviously, it doesn't. If we stay up, I would like Poch for 6 months. 6 months, sorry, for 6 games, or whatever it will be by the time we get somebody in, 8-9 games. We might as well stick with Stowell and Sadler and Evans, to be honest with you. But we will see. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. I haven't eaten yet. I was about to eat after my last show, and then this news broke. Brad obviously is still in bed for 3 hours afterwards, so it was all right. Neil, you've done a show yourself, you say already, and good luck with that. Beyond the 90 and Top 10 Battles are the 2 channels to check out. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to go now because I need a shit as much as anything else, to be honest with you. I haven't done one of them this morning yet either. All the best, and, well, let's see what happens if we get a Roy Hodgson effect on Tuesday.
Let's hope so, lads. Let's hope so, because I could do with a good match, a post-match for once.
I'm not saying the same thing again and again, like our manager used to.
Yeah.
The thing is I've forgotten about this because, I write that piece for the BBC every Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm literally thinking, what the hell am I going to say this week that I've not said in different ways for the past 8, 9, 12 weeks?
That's what you do. You Control C, Control V.
Yeah.
Enter. I hated doing post matches for ages because I'm fed up of saying the same things over and over again. I don't want to create content. I don't want to create content. Not because I don't love this club. I love them, but I feel like I'm going insane. Like, we can't defend. We're conceding last minutes.
I think our post matches actually started to get shorter because we were just saying the same things, didn't we, Chris?
We just started talking about different things, didn't we?
Yeah.
We started talking about relegation battles and actually looking at other teams and their fixtures because it was more exciting talking about our football and the same thing over and over again.
At least I'm going to have something to write about now, but how will I keep it down to 200 words? That is the question. Guys, thank you very much for coming on, both of you. Are we happy? Of course we are. Take care, guys. Thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you later, mate.
See you later.
Thanks. Thanks to the guys there. Let me just remove Brendan, and let me... there we go. Make myself big. That sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. Great news. He's gone. Of course, now reality hits, because I say not only is he gone, It's who we're going to get. So that debate now starts. And until we until we actually appoint somebody, it's going to be probably a show a night saying this guy's been linked with us, this guy's the new favourite. I mean, remember when Nigel Pearson came back? We were being linked with every different day. There was a different guy that was being promoted as top of the bets. And I actually went on and I did a screenshot of the bet thing off Sky. And I Tipex the name out, something like 23-1 or something. And I put my name in. And everybody's messaging, who's this guy, Chris, or whatever it's called at 23? Never heard of him. But that's how silly it got. Guys, thank you so very, very much. Thanks to the guys that were in. It's been good news, but it was unexpected news. Thanks to everybody that's been in the chat. There's been loads of you. I can't mention you all. There has been too many. So it's gone on that long. It's over 2 hours. Some of you even went off, did what you had to do, come back, and we're still going on. So thank you to everybody that's been in the chat. You've been stars. Thank you to those who have lent me their ears and will be listening to this podcast on Catch Up. Leicester Till I Die is the podcast on all the major platforms. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We've been live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. Like and subscribe, please do. This has been Leicester Till I Die TV. I've been Chris, and this in a minute will be Arnie. See you tomorrow night. Good night. Oh, did I play that? That was, sorry, a clip of Brendan leaving the King Power. Here we go. Good night.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
I'm looking for Dr. Goodhead.